Hi guys, welcome back to Sarthak Reads. I'm gonna read the story of the 17th figurine. Next morning, King Bhoj again desired to sit on the throne. He was about to sit on the throne when the 17th figurine stopped him from sitting on the throne and introduced herself before starting the narration of yet another story. Listen, O King, I am Vidyavati, the 17th figurine of King Vikramaditya's throne. I want you to listen to the story that shows how generous, courageous, and ascetic was our King Vikramaditya. Then decide whether you are worthy of sitting on this throne or not. Saying this, Vidyavati started narrating the story. King Vikramaditya was a very responsible king. He always thought about his people and was always concerned about them. He always desired that every single person in his kingdom should be happy and prosperous. For this, he disguised himself as an ordinary man and wandered on the streets of Ujjain to know the condition of his subjects. One night, Vikramaditya disguised himself and was moving on the streets when suddenly he heard the cries of a woman. He became anxious and decided to find out. Vikramaditya reached the house from where the cries were emanating. It was the house of a Brahmin. The wife of a Brahmin was crying and saying, "You should have talked to our king and should have told him about the matter." "Are you mad? We can't put our king's life in danger because of our happiness," scolded the Brahmin. Vikramaditya was shocked to hear the conversation of the Brahmin and his wife because he found himself the subject of the conversation. Meanwhile, the conversation between the couple stopped. King Vikramaditya felt very restless. He waited for some time, but he heard no more voices. Finally, he could not bear any more and knocked at the door. The Brahmin opened the door. Vikramaditya revealed his true identity and said, "A few moments before, I heard a conversation between you and your wife. I want to know about the matter in detail. What are you trying to hide from me?" The Brahmin started trembling with fear to see King Vikramaditya at his doorstep. He invited him in his house and stood before him with folded hands. "Don't panic," said the king. "I only want to know what your wife was saying to you." The Brahmin could not dare to disobey the orders of the king. With folded hands, he said, "We had married 12 years ago, but are childless. My wife kept fasts, offered prayers, but nothing proved beneficial. One day, my wife dreamed that 30 miles east from here in a dense forest, some sages are conducting rituals around a sacrificial fire. They were chanting the name of Lord Shiva and sacrificing their own body parts in the fire. They believe that by doing so, Lord Shiva will be pleased. The goddess who came in my wife's dream also said that if she did the same, then Lord Shiva would be pleased with her, and then she could ask him for a child. But I'm not sure if her dream is true. I do not wish to lose her. If you are really telling the truth, then don't worry. I'll do it for you," promised Vikramaditya and came out of the house. After walking some distance, Vikramaditya called his Betals. They knew about the sacrificial site, so he ordered them to take him there. Very soon, they reached the place and the Betals went away after leaving the king. Like the sages, King Vikramaditya also started sacrificing his body parts in the fire. When all the sages along with Vikramaditya were reduced to ashes, Lord Shiv appeared with his disciples and sprinkled some drops of nectar over the ashes. The sages came back to life. The drops did not fall on the ashes of King Vikramaditya, so he did not revive. When the sages came to know about that, they felt very sorry for Vikramaditya. So, they prayed to Lord Shiv to revive Vikramaditya. On their request, Lord Shiv sprinkled some drops of nectar on the ashes of Vikramaditya, and he also came back to life. Pleased with the devotion of the king, Lord Shiv asked, "Ask for a boon." Vikramaditya replied, "Lord, by your grace and blessings, I have everything. I only want that you bless the childless couple living in my kingdom with a child. Lord Shiv smiled and said, My blessings are always with you. I have never seen such a devoted, generous and great king like you. I am giving you 2 lotuses. One lotus is for you and the other is for the Brahmin couple. If the Brahmin couple keeps this lotus in their house, they will prosper and have children too. Lord Shiv then handed over the 2 lotuses to Vikramaditya with his blessings. With the help of his 2 Betals, Vikramaditya reached his kingdom. He went to the Brahmin's house and gave 1 lotus to him and narrated the entire incident. The Brahmin and his wife thanked the king. Soon the Brahmin's wife gave birth to a sweet and beautiful child. After narrating the story, the figurine asked King Bhoj, Now, you know how great King Vikramaditya was? He was always ready to sacrifice his life for his subjects. If you think that you're like him, then sit on this throne, otherwise go back. After thinking for a while, King Bhoj returned to his palace. That's it for me now, guys. Hope you enjoyed listening to the story. Lots more coming your way. Bye-bye.